Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support and any kind of updates and such. I usually go about on Twitter X. Um, Yesterday, I did publish the fourth episode from Midnight Suns, and tomorrow will be another episode. So at this moment in time, I will stick around for 3 episodes per week for the time being. If I manage to get enough backlog episodes that provides me a more, let's say, busy launch plan there, I will let you know. But yeah, for at least for the foreseeable few weeks, I will keep 3 episodes per per week. And then again, regarding live streams, where I can, I will let you know on Twitter X. So follow, give a follow there. I think it's the best way to let you know when I'm going live stream. But yeah, other than that, that's basically regarding channel updates. Let's go to the news. So finally, we got the Ryzen 9700X and 9600X review roundup. A lot of people come about and throw out their reviews. I watched specifically Hardware on Box and almost to the end Gamers Nexus. And from the headlines that I've been seeing, J2 Cents and I think even I don't know. Pulse hardware, I think also that and the Bauer also in terms of headline kind of a thing there. I didn't watch all the videos there, but seems the consensus is basically the same, which is it's not that it's not good. First of all, it seems that okay, it's not an Intel CPU, which is good news. But the overall consensus is the 9700X basically doesn't offer any kind of performance updates, especially on gaming. Regarding, I think the 7700X, which is the CPU that I have. My prediction was, I think, if you had a 7000 series CPU, it was not worth taking the chance, given that I was. It did seem that there was something that there is not going to be like a huge upgrade to be done there. I think it might be a consideration depending on the pricing regarding older CPUs or people that had on AM4 or something like that, or plan to change between Intel that want to change to AMD. Depending on the price, might be a good jump. But yeah, given the state of the market on CPUs, the 9700X is around 20ish something more than the 7700X, and it fails in terms of uplifting in that same kind of percentage in terms of performance and even in production setting. But in terms of gaming, it in some games really does perform worse. Again, the only caveat here is the TDP that it works on. It's 65 watt TDP instead of the 105, I think, from 7700X. So I think even the Bauer might have mentioned that. I think if they tweak a little bit the power draw there, I think they might be able to squeeze a little bit more performance there. I remember covering that there were some rumors that they were not sure if they were about to stick with 65 watt TDP or increase more after launch or before launch. There were some rumors going about regarding the TDP from this 9700X. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if they are going to do any kind of changes regarding that. I'm not sure. But at this moment in time, even the 9600X, I think even Gamers Nexus had a lot of issues trying to go about doing a proper review, given to kind of, I think he called instability issues in the sense that doesn't see, it's not the physical thing. I think it's something that needs to be solved with a BIOS update. I'm not sure how that will work. Supposedly, I don't think there is a specific need for BIOS update necessarily, um, from what I understood from the reviews there. But yeah, not good price, given that the price market of the CPUs, especially from their own lineup, the 7000 series. So I think if you are on the lower end of the budget side of things, and if you want to get around on AM5 products, I think the 7600 not even the 7600 is around 200 something, 200 and a change there. I think the 7000 series is more good than enough for you, independently of your budget, in terms of if you want to change to AM5. And people that already have the 7000 series, I don't see there's going to be any kind of justification, at least for the moment being, of course, given that they have at this moment the same kind of performance, and they are a little bit more expensive there. I'm not sure if like a BIOS update or something like that, or the Agiza stuff there from AMD, if it's going to make any kind of changes. But yeah, it's not worth it. Basically, it's basically paying extra for the same kind of thing at this moment in time, from what I've been seeing. Yeah, basically that's it. Stick with what you have if you're satisfied, especially people that have the 7000 series. That's my overall thoughts there. If you want to if you want to upgrade or change from Intel by whatever reason, if you want to change Intel to AMD, the 7000 series, I think it will be more than good enough. And I speculate unless something dramatically changed between the 9950 and the 9900X, which will come up in will come out in a week or so, so 15 August. If there is something revolutionary, again, even in the eye hand, I think 7800X 3D or the 7900 7950X are plenty good enough for you to do what you need to do, for sure. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts from this launch here. If something happens in the meantime, regarding updates regarding these new CPUs that might have slipped through AMD, that might give a boost in terms of performance, I will let you know. Intel, again, they are still on the shit show roadmap there. But similarly, I don't know if they're trying to make this kind of information leak out to see if there is some saving grace for the for the rest of the year. Supposedly, the Battlemage GPUs are reportedly launching in Q4. I don't know if this kind of news is more in line for people to get excited for Intel, given the way the CPU stuff is going on, and the fact that we've been hearing a lot of the delay on the GPU side of things, especially the Battlemage. Supposedly, they are going to maintain the fourth quarter 2024 to launch this. This comes on after a conference in China in collaboration with ASUS, where they talked about their Alchemist, or in this broad thing is the next product lineup has CPU and GPUs. Again, I don't know if the CPU stuff that they were talking about is the 15th gen CPUs, or the ones that have already for laptop stuff. I don't know the naming scheme of them. I think it's the no, here it's only GPU stuff here, which where I want to focus. But yeah, the GPUs supposedly has to be Battlemage because Alchemist has already been a few years out. Again, the information basically seems to be the same. Around this new architecture brings around 50% improvement in performance. And of course, incorporates new architectural changes as brand new ray tracing units and VCC support. Uh, yeah, not much else new around this. The first product that will debut with this kind of architecture is going to be on 3rd of September, but is the APU stuff there. So there is nothing. There is a lot to expect from like GPU stuff there, except for the APUs they're supposedly they are going to launch still. But yeah, supposedly again, second gen XE2 cores, enhanced vector engine, deeper caches, new XMX engines, performance innovation, native hardware support for executing direct commands, and larger ray tracing units. Again, a lot of talking, but again, until we have the product and see on the benchmark stuff how it performs against Alchemist, we don't know for very well. Supposedly they are going to launch 3 dies, the whatever this is, G21, G10, and the 31. I suppose the 31 is the biggest boy there, or G41, if I understand, which has 32 XE2 cores, but we don't have a lot except only memory. That is going to be with GDDR6X probably. which I think it makes sense. I don't think it makes sense for them to use GDDR7, mainly because it's a more expensive, and I don't think the GPUs themselves will take advantage of a larger memory bandwidth necessarily. But yeah, suppose the memory buff is going to be still 256. I'm not sure in terms of this kind of the information that we have here. I think they were still going to try to achieve, probably, hopefully, 4080 level, aiming for a 4080 level kind of performance there with their high end on this Battlemage. And if they manage, I think it's going to be to a certain degree saving grace, especially if it is competes in terms of price regarding the what we already have on the market there, because the 4080 kind of performance, again, it's already competing between the 4080 itself, the 4080 Super at this moment, the 7900 XTX, and if it gets a little bit below, we still have the 7900 XT, probably the 4070 Ti Super thing there, around there. So they have like the middle ground there. The 7900 GRE, it's not that big of a deal there. Uh, but yeah, you got that those kind of areas in terms of price to performance that they need to land if they want to be competitive, and might be a saving grace if they have a good launch and if the product is really that good, that can give that kind of performance. And of course, the thing with the that they have, the only major thing that they have is with the driver stuff. Again, everything that it seems to be recent games seems to be okayish. Their main problem still, to a certain degree, it's the DirectX 11 and below, in terms of having kind of some games still have some performance issues, and there is the rare occasion that certain games don't even launch. But I think it has to do with the DirectX support there. Makes sense for them trying to be more appealing to less games launched, or more recent games than older games. But yeah, let's see how this goes. And hopefully they really need to solve this issue with the 13 and 14th generation CPU stuff there, of the degradation and the oxidation issue. They need to solve this as best that they can without trying to do some shenanigans, or else Intel it can be in a very dangerous situation and open up to, or I don't want to talk about bankruptcy. I don't think that's going to be something that is going to happen. But yeah, because even the problem with oxidation has to do with their own foundries, which to a certain degree, from what I've been seeing, for example, in terms of foundries and production of on chips, I think TSMC, of course, cannot handle all the demand that the market is having, and I think there are some potential clients for Intel. But if they had, or might have, some oxidation issues, which basically manufactures the deficient hardware there, it's not a good look also in terms of that business side of things. But yeah, I think if they really need to get around here and have like kind of redemption arcs, so to say, mainly regarding foundry business. They need to have a pretty good launch if they are going to launch the Battlemage on full force. They need to be very strong on that launch. On the side of GPU stuff, it's not a huge market from them, from their business portfolio, but it's something that might give some signs of life on the overall business there. And on the CPU side of things, that they really need to smooth out this situation with 13 and 14 gen, because some companies are completely scraping and getting rid of their Intel CPUs there and changing to AMD, which is not good. Because then to try to overtake that part of the market share they are losing is going to be tricky. But they need to have also an excellent launch on their 15th gen CPUs there. Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes throughout the year regarding their business portfolio. But yeah, they are a lot of they have to be strong on their response, specifically at this moment in time. They really need to get some kind of recalls or something like that, or accepting the RMAs and take a little bit of a loss there to maintain a little bit of the confidence of the consumer in the brand itself. But yeah, in terms of hardware, this is it. In terms of games, we got some stuff here. Monster Hunter is being launching some trailers. They launched yesterday two more: Incent Clave and Evigo Bowgun. Sorry, trailers there. Quick trailers, like not even a minute or so. Again, I think from what I understand, they are trying to go about give like introduction videos for basic stuff that the game has for new players coming that are curious to see what this franchise is all about. I think it's what they're trying to aim for with this. Um, so can people have some kind of more expectations in line. Uh, but yeah, I think that they are doing a good job. It got me interested because I watched the things there. Seems to be like a strength build kind of thing, more dexterity stuff there, more range option in terms of the hunter. Got some base mechanics there, which is longer. The more longer trailer there, which some basic stuff there, so people have an idea what this game is all about. And they are coming to Gamescom, where they're going to be having 60 playable demo stations, which is going to be interesting to see how what's going to be the feedback regarding this playable demo. I don't know what kind of vertical slice is going to be, but yeah, Gamescom is going to be from August 21st to 25th. I will try to cover the best that I can to my abilities to see what kind of news they are coming out. And just sake of a completionism, Capcom is going to bring also supposedly a show off of Street Fighter 6 DLC character. They're going to be also Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Again, I never played any of these games, but I'm aware of this franchise. And then you got they're going to bring also, I think, for to give a little bit more boost in terms of awareness, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, which is a game that had already been launched in these last few weeks. And I think it's pretty decent for for what the game aims to be. I think it's pretty good from what I've been seeing. I didn't see any kind of official reviews, but the feedback that I've been seeing around here and there seems a pretty good game. It's one of those that I'm interesting because it has some the way it goes about it seems interesting, and the folklore itself that is and the lore supposedly of the what you are supposed to be doing seems pretty interesting. But yeah, Master Hunter will be available in Gamescom. We got the final trailer finally for Black Myth Wukong. I think it's around 4 minutes and something. It's kind of a recap of everything that the game has to offer. The good thing is I didn't see any kind of weird stuff happening there. Seems fluid enough. I will assume the combat stuff is capture, in-game capture. I didn't see any stuttering, or at least I didn't notice any of that. Again, just be aware this is not going to be an open world kind of Elden Ring thing. It seems to be like chapter stuff in the sense that it's going to be mission based, let's say, with some open areas for each chapter. Because again, this is trying to tell the story of the journey to the West from Chinese mythology and folklore. That's at least my expectation there, and from the information that I've been having access to. So yeah, but the trailer is pretty good. Again, as always wait for reviews for this game to make sure that this is a pretty good game. But all the signs that I've been launching at to the public, it seems going to be a pretty good game, at least. We got other stuff here from the first Berserker, Khazan. It's going to be launching 2025. I think we didn't have even a year to aim for. Again, this game seems to be a little bit on the Dark Souls kind of a gameplay there. There is no jumping. There is some kind of platforming. The platforming seems similar to Dark Souls 3 in the sense from the 15 minutes that I watched. The combat, I will assume it has some stamina-based kind of combat there, even though the HUD was clean, so there is no information there. But it seems it's kind of stamina-based. At least it has a stand mechanic there because you can parry. From what I've seen, it seems you parry and it breaks stances on enemies for a certain amount of time. You got critical the damage there for the openings there. Seems pretty interesting. But yeah, you got these 15 minutes. You finish off the gameplay finishes off with this one. Seems pretty fluid. Also, um, a little bit of not jankiness, but the character itself, some of the movement. Again, it's not. It's a very nitpicky thing to do, but it seems fluid enough. I didn't see any kind of stuttering on anything like that. But yeah, the only thing is the art style that they go for. Very interesting, also kind of shell-shaded kind of a thing there. Very similar with the game that I watched a few years ago that I completely forgot the name of, but it was quite boosted at the time, like 3 or 4 years ago. I completely forgot the name of the game, but it's a kind of a cell-shaded kind of a thing there. And lastly, we got a trailer here. Uh, this one piqued my interest. It's kind of a first-person psychological horror. Again, the trailer is in engine game trailer, so we don't have any kind of gameplay to check. But at least we got an idea what he's trying to aim for. It's kind of the like supernatural kind of investigation happening here. Supposedly this is going to be a big area, so supposedly it takes place on an island, and you're going to try to solve the mystery of basically your father just disappeared. You're trying to figure out what happened to him, and if possible, if you find him, and you got all the paranormal stuff going about there. My only concern is this is going to be launched by Daedalic Entertainment, again, as publishing deal. The developer is Delaware. I don't think I ever heard of them. But yeah, the fact that Daedalic published like pretty interesting games in the last year, like the Golem game, which is a complete shit show. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if this developer studio does do a good job with this. Seems pretty interesting. It's going to be a first-person psychological horror. Let's see how it goes. I always like a good horror game. Um, and supposedly this is more stealth and investigative kind of gameplay loop they're trying to aim for. So setting up traps from the trailer, the perception is you're trying to set up traps and everything from some spirits to resolve some situations there. But yeah, it's only a tease, like 2 minutes of trailer. We have to wait for more information regarding that, and the game supposedly only comes in 2025 also. So hopefully you get some new information soon. I will wish list it to keep my track on this game. But yeah, this is in terms of news what I got for today. We got some great deals here. We got Dead Space remake. It's 65% off. At the time I bought, in the last time it was on sale, I bought the deluxe edition. It's not worth it. Basically, you got the digital deluxe upgrade. It's not worth in the sense of gameplay. You only have the new suit. I play with some of the suits there on the game play series that I did. Again, my major concern with this game is the optimization, especially regarding when you are transversing certain areas. Supposedly, this game doesn't have any loading screens except when not even when fast travel. There is no fast travel, I think here. No, but it's the loading that it's happening on the background. Got a lot of stuttering usually near doors, but other than the rest, it seems pretty good. Very fluid. Feels like the original with improved graphics and physics and all that jazz. Yeah, but my main concern is the lack of optimization in the background regarding the vertical stuttering that it has. But other than that, if you're not sure if this game is for you or never heard about Dead Space, again, I got on my main page of the channel, I got the series of this one. You might look for the first episode to see what this is about, to at least have a look for yourself, because this game doesn't have a demo here. We got also bioshock. I will leave the bioshock, the collection, which has the free games, the remastered versions of the first two, bioshock infinite, and all the DLC associated with the games there. And it's 80% off, which is a good price there. We got Guardians of the Galaxy still on sale, 80% off. Seems a pretty good one. The characters are more in line and more based from the comic books than the movies, so we got that for a change. We got Nino Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. The first one is not on sale, only this one, and this is the Prince editions. I think it's a good deal. Again, I'm one of these days for sure I will play Ni no Kuni 1 and Ni no Kuni 2. One of these days for sure. I always like this kind of Ghibli kind of style kind of games, and it's a JRPG, so you got some drama here for sure. But yeah, we got also Jagged Alliance free. 50% off on the base game. I think it's more than good enough. I think the DLC is like soundtrack and the such there. Yeah, it's only the soundtrack. I think the base game is more than good, and it's a pretty decent game from what I understand. We got also Pacific Drive. This is one of those that I really want to play, and it's 40% off on the deluxe edition. And lastly, on Steam, we got the Meow Meow game, so Stray, 40% off. Again, this is, I supposedly, the must play for any gamer. You play as a cat, there's nothing else to do here, or to say here, sorry. On GOG, we got God of War. Again, this is from PlayStation, but as I mentioned a few times, I only going to recommend if you don't need any kind of PSN shenanigans to play the game, which is the case with the GOG. This is the remake, of course. 60% off. As you can see, DRM, no activation on online connection required to play. So no shenanigans. And I think only the games that don't need PSN requirements from Sony, they're going to appear here on GOG. And for GOG, I can trust them because they don't do any kind of or not mandated. They only accept if you're not going to do any kind of online shenanigans. Again, I think this is a good one, and I think at least the first game from this series is the remake part there. I think it's a pretty good one. We got also Metro franchise bundle, 84% off. Again, Metro Redux versions from the two games, Metro Exodus and the DLC associated with it, for 84% off. Got also Prey Digital Deluxe Edition. Again, if you're not sure, you just buy the standard edition, which is fine. Again, very underrated game. I did a gameplay series on this one. If you're not sure about this game, just check the first episode from my series to have a sense of what this game is all about. I think you get a pretty good idea for what it is. But it is as the stamp of approval from my end. We got also Spirit Feral Edition, 75% off. We got also then to finalize Evil Within Duology, again from Tango Gameworks, which closed recently. But these are at this price point a recommendation here. And of course, I already did a gameplay series from Evil Within 1 and Evil Within 2. Evil Within 2's got some improvements. It's not free from some issues here and there, but it's a very well. It can be played pretty good or better than the first one. But they are recommendations mainly because of the story and the horror there elements. I think they are pretty decent, at least for this price point. I think that it can be as a recommendation. But yeah, I will leave with all of this for today. Again, I'm going to just to wrap up with a plug on my Patreon as usual for extra support. Given that this extra support is moment in time for me to be able to get a better storage solution, for me to be able to get backups, the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.